Hello everyone, you're welcome to Work with Chemical Inspiration, and we have with us today
Ambassador Joyce Akubezi.
Wow.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, I'm so glad to have you here today. I'm so glad to have you here today.
The pleasure is all mine, Chemical. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have some questions to ask you today. That through those questions, we're able to learn a whole lot from your experience and get to be inspired. So, yeah.
Okay, the pleasure of answering all those questions is completely mine.
Wow. So, the first question today is this: how were you able to discover your purpose? How were you able to discover your purpose?
You, you see, this question, that's why I started laughing. The question, how were you able to discover your purpose? I would start this way. First of all,
Okay.
Purpose is not something you're walking on the street and then there's a carton of money dropped right there on the street, or there's a bottle of drink on the street, and then wow, high purpose. That's not how it happens. Okay. So purpose actually is something that happens throughout your entire lifetime. You continue to discover, to rediscover, to unravel purpose until you are done here.
Wow.
Your purpose would take different shapes, different routes, all through your life. But then the most important thing is discovering yourself.
Okay.
Asking the question, who am I?
So you're trying to say that discovering yourself and discovering purpose are two different things.
Yes, you can't know you can't know what you are expected to do if you don't know who you are. You have to know who you are first.
Yeah.
Who am I? And when we say that, we're not talking about what's your name.
Okay.
Because somebody says, who are you? You say, I'm Jane.
Yeah.
Or that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about who are you, referring to your mission.
Okay.
Who are you? Are you a solution?
Okay.
You could also be a problem. It all depends on what you've discovered. But you have to discover yourself first. That is the primary thing. You have to come to the consciousness of yourself. Who am I?
Okay, so
who is Chinwe? Who is Joyce? Who is Chemeka?
Okay. So at what point can someone say, I've discovered myself? I've discovered myself. At what point?
Yeah, at a point in a child's life, particularly between puberty and teenagehood, this question comes from the inside of you. That is why it has to do with the one that made you, because it always comes from the inside.
Exactly.
Nobody comes to ask you that question. One fine morning you wake up and there's this hollowness, there's this emptiness. You start seeking answers. Okay, so you see that some teenagers, so many of them will fall into confusion, what we call identity conflict. Because that question has started coming up.
Exactly.
What are you even doing here? What are you doing here? It's like somebody getting on the bus that is going to Akwa Ibom and you don't have a mission. You get to Akwa Ibom, are you going to go left or right?
Yes.
Okay, you see, in life we get to that point. So when we start asking those questions, start coming up, the next thing that happens is you're in Akwa Ibom, you're either going to ask somebody that is standing there, please, which way should I go now? Okay, is this Akwa Ibom? You ask, where am I? Some of us don't even know.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is how life happens to us. You find the group that do not even know what's going on. Okay. And then you find the group that have maybe heard from someone about the word purpose, about mission, but then they need somebody to come and explain those concepts to them. Okay, so this is how it all happens. Like I said, purpose is a continuum. You have to keep I'm still discovering purpose. So I'm trying to make sure that we understand that question you asked me. How did you discover purpose? I'm still discovering it. Okay. It all starts with finding out who you are.
Okay. So from what you're saying now, we have different stages in which we discover this part of us, this part of us. This part. Because I've seen people say, I'm destined to be a pastor. So they leave their jobs, they leave things, and just focus on being a pastor. So you're trying to say now that we can be multidimensional, right?
Certainly, perfectly. Life is the most dynamic thing ever. Finding purpose is finding meaning. That's the simplest way I can put it. This life that you are living here, does it have meaning? We need to stop narrowing down purpose to the fact that I'm a teacher. I'm a teen coach. I'm a leadership coach.
Yeah.
I'm a life coach. Okay, God has we have innate gifts, potentials that He has deposited. So when you're putting 2, 3, 4 or more of them to use, that is purpose.
Okay.
Purpose means you're affecting humanity. Purpose means you are making an impact. You are making a change. You are leaving indelible marks such that when you're gone, when you're done and you're gone, people will say, he did this, she did this. That is purpose. And it mustn't be one thing.
Okay.
The more the better, because it reminds you of the parable of the talents.
Yeah.
That's what God has in mind. When we talk about purpose,
exactly.
that is what He has in mind. That the more you have should be the more impact you. You know, you can discover as many as you can.
So is it possible for someone now to, let me say, this was a purpose now, and after a while you say, I've changed purpose? Is it possible for someone to change purpose?
Change. I've never really. I don't know if somebody said that, but really, that's very funny. Change purpose.
Let me say you're a teacher, and I say, I'm not. This is not what I'm supposed to do. I think I was supposed to do this for a season. Now this season is off. Let me switch to this part of my life. Again, let me switch to this direction now.
You see, that person needs direction.
Oh, okay.
That person needs. It's what happens to that person is that the multi talents are beginning to jam.
Okay.
Things are coming up and they don't know what to do with it. But with direction, if they run to someone, that's why we all need mentors.
Exactly.
We need people who may have been in our situation maybe 10 years ago, and they'll tell us, okay, it's quite normal. It happens to everybody. It happened to me. So this is what you're going to do. You can now decide to hone in on the most prevalent 3 or 4 and stay there. It doesn't mean there are not other things that you could perfectly do. There are so many things. I've once been a choir director.
Wow.
Do you understand? But you know, there are things that are dominant. There are things, yes, you get to keep doing it. So right now, I have a daughter who sings professionally. So you see that there's a part of me that is inside of her, and for her now it's becoming more prominent than it was for me. All right. So this person now that is saying I'm changing purpose, the person needs quick intervention.
Okay. Now, at this point now, what do we have to do? Like, how are we able to? Have you actually experienced such situation, and how are we able to solve it?
Oh yes, I can tell you that for sure. I remember when I was a teenager, I wanted to be everything in the whole world. Do you understand? I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be. Do you understand? Everything that I fancied, I wanted to become. But wait for it. I've never passed mathematics before. Do you understand? So, and at that point, I didn't know that there were things, some of those things I admired that I couldn't possibly be, because is not part of the mixture. You know, somebody said when God was making you, He brought some ingredients. The same ingredients you use for egusi soup, you cannot use it for vegetable. That is what defines our uniqueness, our different uniqueness. So you may be egusi, I am vegetable. I can never possibly be egusi, because if I'm going to be egusi, then the event is going to have one soup and it's going to be boring. So when we have 3, 4, 5 soups, people can have variety. The party becomes more enjoyable. So life and living becomes more enjoyable because there are so many of us doing, unique things.
So now, what do you have to say about teenagers that are still struggling in identifying their identity? So what do you think could be their possible behavior and character?
Well, for some teenagers, the first thing that happens is that they go rogue. They become rebellious.
Yes.
Because they feel the world is out to get them. What's this confusion? What kind of what's this? What's life? Like how are people dealing with this? So if they don't quickly find someone that will guide them through,
Wow.
most of them would run off the course. Right? So, and they're just doing things the way they feel is best.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for continuation. So how do we tackle this? How do we advise our parents over there? How do we advise them to tackle the crime? I think this is actually a very serious problem going
Yes,
on
it
now.
is. Yes, it is. It is. It's one of the commonest things that we deal with as teenage counselors.
Okay.
So I found out in my years of being with teenagers, working with them, that it's important that we also re-coach the parents. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because if the teacher is not equipped, the student will suffer.
Yes, yes.
So it's not enough to jump in. Yes, we are mediators as teenage coaches, but it's also important to now begin to retrain the parents, show them what they are missing, because you cannot give what you don't have, as we say. What they are doing is the only thing they got from their parents, and their parents from their parents. So now that there's a way of understanding the human psychology and how it relates to teenagehood and how it relates to finding meaning to life, it's important that we retrain parents to understand that there is uniqueness in each individual. And when you have 4 teenagers in your home, 4 of them are completely different.
Wow.
You cannot, there's no one size fits all. You apply it and you expect everybody to bend to that. No. You have to find out what's Okay's uniqueness, what's Francis' uniqueness, and you begin to address each one of them, accordingly. Okay might be someone who's like, okay, let me talk about my second daughter.
Okay.
Her life has always been like she's in a hurry. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if I was a parent who didn't have adequate information, I may have slowed her down.
Okay.
But I didn't slow her down because some persons are just moving trains. Do you understand? You can't stop them. There's no stopping them. And then some people will take their time. And they're coming from the same parents. So you shouldn't go judging the person that is taking their time as being slow or not knowing what they want and saying things like, can't you see your brother? Because their missions are different. So I understood all of that. So I was able to just keep nudging her. Okay, so go do. Oh, you're fantastic. Do you understand? And she has blossomed. She's thriving in the things that she's doing. And the ones that were slower, like more calculative, are also thriving because you didn't push them. Most times what gets teenagers to lose focus and just lose it is being pushed.
Wow.
And if that person is not supposed to be pushed and you're pushing the person instead of trying to understand and following them at their pace, what you are is a guide.
Okay.
So you watch them, see how they're taking the steps, follow them. And some of them will seem to be so fast. So as a guide, you mellow where you're supposed to mellow because, create the balance.
Okay, so you're trying to say, wow, this is so beautiful. Wow. Because I'm actually picturing a whole lot of challenges I went through also. Because I'm also a fast person. Like, I'm a fast person. And a lot of people do not understand me. This guy, you have several skills. I actually experienced that. So when you're saying this, I'm just looking at myself. Wow, I'm so grateful. So how do you see this connection between teenagers now going into trying to find love outside to find this person that can actually encourage them? So how is this connection between with what you're saying now?
Yeah, it's just like I said, when I was a teenager, I dealt with looking for love. And one thing that constantly happens, the teenagers will go and look for the love in all the wrong places. And some of them will survive it, some of them will not survive it. What I mean by that is that some will just become damaged for life. Like they are 40 and they're still trying to recover from what happened when they were 14, 15. And nobody knows that. They may even be married. That marriage keeps suffering and you think it's something that is happening in the now. No, it's you're living with the 14-year-old. as his wife.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So it happens to 80% of teenagers.
Wow. 80%.
Yes, looking for acceptance.
Mm.
Because what happens is that there's this disengagement that happens, there's this disconnect that happens between them and the parents. The parents believe that if we make provision and pay school fees, everybody ought to be fine.
Yeah.
So there's hardly, in this climb, there's hardly time for a sit down. And we believe that if we've said something openly in the sitting room, everybody is supposed to run along at the same pace. No, that's wrong. I have 4 children, okay, and the 4 of them growing up, when they were still teenagers, they're all grown up. Up now, they're adults, okay, living on their own. And when they were teenagers, 1 or 2 of them would require that I come and sit down.
Wow.
And listen, and that would happen when they are even ready to tell me that thing, not when I want it. So in parenting a teenager, you're going to need loads and loads of patience. And try to show them, not tell them that you love them. You have to show it. You don't tell them, it's not enough. Because that is what carries them away most times. When people show them, and possibly it is the wrong kind of showing, and they believe whatever they are shown first, that's what they perceive as love.
I see.
Do you understand? So it's better you are the one that shows them first. Okay, there's this example. I called my girls. I have 3 girls. I called them and said, whatever it is that you're going to grow up and around 15 or 16, you want to go and ask a boy to give you. If you see, and maybe you need to buy gin, because I was petite anyway. I'm not as slim as I used to be. I was very slim. So they were coming up, teenagers, they will grow up fast. So if you would have gone to a boy to ask for gin, and I have gin because I used to have plenty. Any one of them that sizes you, wear it. That is showing them that you care.
Giving them access.
Yes, you give them some great deal of access. Let them understand that, they are important. Let them understand that they are top priority. Okay? Then, whenever you follow their mood, follow their mood. Teenagers are the moodiest set of human beings. They may tell you, I'm fine. That's when they are not fine. So you have to understand, be patient. Don't take that I'm fine and go away. Try to find out, how do you penetrate teenagers? You have to understand how their minds work. Their minds are like, okay, don't pester me right now. I don't want to talk about it. The more you're pressing, what's wrong with you? Can't you open your mouth? And as long as you're saying that, that story is not going to come out. That story is not coming out. You can wait forever. It's not coming.
Wow.
Hey, how are you? What's up? I'm fine, Mom. Okay. But I'm here to listen whenever you want to talk. Should be the next sentence.
Whoa.
And then don't push it.
Yes.
So they may come around the next morning. Yeah, Mom, that thing you were saying yesterday. But when you're like, why is it that they're asking you what is wrong with you? You're putting your face like, they're like, okay, she's already judging me. I'm not telling that story.
Wow. This is a whole lot of information. I wish everybody can watch this video. Wow. This is, oh my God.
Because teenagers, we should show them a whole lot of compassion, because it's not easy to understand. You're trying to deal with the changes that are happening to your body that you don't know what's going on with my body.
Exactly.
My boobs were not like this yesterday. What's going on? And then at the same time, you're no longer a child. You do something, they're telling you why you're behaving like a child. And then you try to don't do that. You're not yet an adult. That is teenagehood.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, so what am I?
I get you. Wow. Well, so looking at this now, I want to bring you back to something you were saying earlier. You were speaking about adults being educated. So now, how do we get to achieve this? How do we get to achieve? Because I see a whole lot of parents that don't even know how to be a mother. I'm sorry to say this. Some mothers don't even know how to be, and some dads don't even know how to be. I think this should actually be a school of family. Like, some people don't even know how to be a brother. Some people don't even know how to be a sis. I don't know, how do we get to solve this
Yeah, there
problem?
should be a school of family. I agree with you. Okay, but we have like they will say ekere or eke.
Yeah.
There's a division of labor, okay? Amongst coaches, we have family coaches.
Oh,
People actually deal with mom, dad, children.
wow.
They can actually come to the house, talk to everybody,
Wow.
maybe separate everybody in rooms and talk to them and find out, okay, this is what is going on. Okay, you guys, you're going to have to do this. Mom, this is where you're lagging behind. We have family coaches, and we have parenting coaches.
Wow.
They are there. So every parent that wants to be intentional needs to find these people and sign in with them. I wish that every other 2 weeks or 1 month there's a family seminar or conference going on. Do you understand? Such that parents can actually come along with their children, and issues like this are brought up and discussed, and the teenagers are, compelled or encouraged to speak in that forum, in the front, in the presence of their parents, so that they are listening to those things. I wish
I've seen cases when if some parents were brought together with their children and to solve the problem, and the children voiced out their opinion, the parents now took it against them. Oh, so you have been saying this, oh, you have been taking this about.
Yeah, but because there are mediators there,
okay,
they will deal with it. So how it works is that the mediators first of all would have spoken to them. They address the parents first. Diffuse all these time bombs that are waiting to, because there are time bombs that are going to be exploding, mines all over the place. All right, so they know what's coming. So they talk and prepare their psyche first, so that the parents are like, okay, so this is how this thing works, before the children start talking.
Now, in this case where, let me use Abba actually as an example, as a case study, where parents don't even seem to attend seminars. So how do we actually even get them to even come to things like this? They don't even know the need for a family coach. They feel like, I already know this. I was there. I already know how to be more.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, that's how my parents raised me. Do you understand? They raised me. So I'm your parent. I know what's best for you. Okay. The thing is, that's where the job of teenage coaches actually begin. And what we now do is try to bridge a gap. Because like you said, parents would hardly attend these meetings. Even in Abba, like, you should even ask them to come for PTA. They'll send the housemates.
Yes.
Do you understand? So this one is even a no-go area. They'll be like, I'm very busy. What does he need now? Or no, is he not grown? What is he? Should we start pampering him? So they are not going to come.
Looking at this PTA story you just mentioned, it just brought me back to the body school and day school life. So what do you think about this body school, day school life? Looking at this, so how do you think a mom or a parent can actually mold the purpose or the identity of their child, looking at the fact that they're in the boarding school, that they're living in school? So how can we actually? I went to boarding school, and when
I did too.
Yeah, when I was around 17, when I was around 16, I said if I get to 18, I'll be stubborn. Then I got to 18, I delayed the stubborn. I said, when I get to 20, I'll be very, very stubborn. So I was just waiting to be 18 years when I have my freedom as an adult, 18 years adulthood. I'll be very stubborn. I said I will be stubborn until, I don't know, I just repented. That's what saved me. I repented. If not, I wanted to be very stubborn. I wanted to stop everybody, because when it really stopping me, I felt like once I get to that age, nobody can control me again. So I'll be very stubborn.
Okay, there's something you did not know. Okay, and that thing is that what the Bible says, train up a child in the way you should go. Your parents did it, and it was somewhere inside waiting for you to grow. You didn't know that, okay? So it was there. So it brings me to that part to reiterate that parents owe it to their children to train them in the way that they should go.
Wow.
Because there would certainly be the days of wilderness. But what you have sown in the child is what will remain. So where the problem is that the parents did not sow anything. You didn't plant anything. Nothing is going to grow.
Wow.
But if you do, trust me, it will grow. That's how you have young men going away, living on their own, making a whole lot of mistakes, and one day they're just coming back to God and nobody is calling them.
Yes, yes.
Because something was planted in them.
Exactly. Me too. Me too. I don't know. For 2 years, I did go to church.
Yeah.
And now I'm a pastor now. For
Okay.
2 years, I did go to church.
Something was planted in you.
Man, do you know the day I went to church, I don't know what took me to church. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that was the day I repented. And for 2 years, I did go to church in school. I was living in the university. I did go to church for 2 years. And I just saw myself in church. And that day I repented. And I took it too serious. I started fasting, started reading my Bible. I started evangelism. I became overseer. I changed my trouser. I bought my jean trouser. It entered. So I don't know. I think I really believe what you said in times of sowing the seed.
Yeah, sow the seed at the right time.
Yeah.
At the right time. Okay, I don't know if I've mentioned. My day job is in a school as an administrator.
Wow.
So I'm always around children, teenagers. I'm constantly with them. Okay, so I see the ones that are toddlers and I'm like, okay, mom, come, you're missing something. Do you understand? If you don't do this thing now, you can't do it when they are 12. And if you can't do it then there's a problem when they're 18.
Wow.
There's a schedule. You have to follow them by the schedule. When a child is 4 or 5, there are things you ought to know. You should know by 4 and 5 the values that the family hold in high esteem. We are not liars.
Yes.
The child should have known that.
Wow.
We do not tell lies in this family. You cannot tell lies.
It's not just by saying
it's not by you show him. Right? So those things, you inculcate the right values.
Yeah.
But somebody would ask, what about when parents have the wrong set of values? Like daddy smoking in the parlor. So how is daddy going to raise a teenager who doesn't smoke?
That's true.
When daddy actually sends the teenager to buy it. So that's a family problem. Now that's a pronounced problem. They may require family counseling and all of that. A pastor could step in sometimes in this where there's no licensed, a professional family coach, because that's another thing that we need to accept, that a pastor is not a coach.
Wow.
Yes, except that pastor has also undergone training in coaching.
Wow. So, I'd like to ask, I'd like to ask again, like, why growing, why taking your path through life and discovering that you're a teacher, what are the challenges you actually faced? Were they challenges like, people say that teachers are not being paid well and you can't actually become a millionaire as a teacher. So how have the experience been choosing the path of teaching as an area of focus?
The part of teaching is for me personally, anybody can disagree, I would accept that. But for me, the path of teaching is the path of God.
Wow.
So that's why you see teachers, even when they are not paid, even when they are crying, they can't stop. It's a calling.
Wow.
It's not just an ordinary profession. It's a calling to keep aligning humans, continue aligning humans so that people are behaving in a decent manner. It's a big calling. In fact, it is the biggest task to keep socializing humans, aligning them to decency and decorum. That is what teachers do. So it's a calling, a passionate calling, that you see somebody even taking their salaries to also invest in others. That's what teachers do. They just want to see these people become. It is the path of God. When God said, okay, you son, come. Moon, come. Line up. You see teachers doing this. Okay, the stars, where are you? They come out. Okay, you stand here. You stay there. No, not there. There. He was teaching them what to do.
Wow. So were there times where people mocked at you? Were there times where people wanted to discourage you? because I see you as someone that's multi-talented also. So many times people are like, why did you focus on this part of your life? Why did you go into this? Ah, you're good in this part. So why?
Yeah, people will do that. But if you don't forget that one, people will do that. If you're multi-talented, people will come at you. Some people, there is a divide. This group will say do all of it. The other group will say focus on one thing, Kwano. Are you jack of all trade, Kwano? And all of that, all those things will come, and they're coming into one head. So it's important for you to know that I have direction. It's important to find someone that holds your hand.
Wow.
You can always go back to that person. When it seems overwhelming, you can always run back. And that there's God permanently that you can talk to. Am I going the right way? Should I stop doing this one? You need to have that in your life. It's very, very important.
Yeah, you mentioning God, and I just brought the question again that I've been thinking about this, or I've been studying about it for a while. You know, have you heard things like I'm waiting upon the Lord, so I don't take any action. I just want to be sure that this is what God wants me to do. So I'm going to wait until God tells me to do this particular thing. In fact, I won't even choose any course. Let me pray and wait for God to give me a course.
You know, just the other day there was a post I made. I said, if people should stop coming to me inbox, and when you tell me stuff, so many things, and then I try to, by the grace that God has made available, I try to look into it, and then I'm trying to guide you, and suddenly you're telling me, you know, God actually showed me exactly how this. See, I said people should stop bringing, don't bring, don't. If you believe that God has shown you the specifics, and you are sure it is God, because this is another area. You are sure. There's one thing to say I'm waiting upon God, and there's laziness.
Yes.
All right? We cannot confuse the two. People hide behind I'm waiting on God to just be stupid. They're just lazy. You don't want to do anything. And you say you're waiting on God. God knows the people that are waiting on Him.
Exactly.
First things first, you know there is work to be done, because even the Word of God says time will come when you can no longer do those things.
Yes.
As you're growing, your energy is going. Okay, I'm nearly 50 now. There are things I used to do 5 years ago that, you know, I just do it with style this time. So this is life. You can't be hiding behind I'm waiting on God, I'm waiting on God, and here you're 60. You're making God a liar. He gave you things. Start doing it. Let it be that you're doing so much. Do. Let it be that you're doing so much.
Keep doing.
Yes, do.
Wow. So what do you have to say to our parents now watching us or seeing this video? What do you have to say to them? What do you have to tell them about them helping their children to discover their identity, discovering who they are?
Okay, what I would say to them is a simple task. Find out who each of your children are. Pay attention to the things they say. Pay attention to the things they do. I will talk about my second daughter again. They may have children like that. When she was as little as 4, every time she will remove the roller from the tissue paper, the roller, pull it out, and it's microphone. Do you understand? Pay attention to your children in that manner. Pay that kind of attention. And then she will destroy my bead necklaces and start putting it, you know, on a thread again. So you realize that this person is a bundle of creativity. I couldn't possibly have come up and say, because I need a combination of doctor, lawyer, nurse, and I'll put her in the nurse. No. She went to the university and studied creative arts.
Are you serious? Wow.
And that was going to help her bring out the best, because this is who she is.
Wow.
From the things that she did when she was 4, 5, when she was that little, 6 years, 7 years, she will carry a plain sheet of paper and start drawing a dress. Looking at the paper, a dress will come out, and nobody is wearing that pattern of. Do you understand? So when you see these things, find out who the child is. And nudge, don't push.
Don't
like
push.
This.
Don't push.
It's like this. Nudge. And then one day when she was 11, she came and said, we finished watching a movie. She came and said in one sentence, Mom, I answered, and she said, I'll be on TV. I said, of course you can be on TV. You'll be on TV now. There are things that,
Yeah.
she said, I will be on TV in a sentence that carried a definition. I will.
Wow.
She's an actor. She's known beyond Nigeria now.
Wow. Wow.
And when she was 19, that confession happened.
Wow.
So you have to follow your children, and when they say things or do things, you channel your prayer point along what they are saying and doing. Because they came with something.
Yes.
And what they came is not in your hand, is in their own hands. So when you find it, you pray along the line, the things they do. Right? If they are eager about carrying small animals and checking them out, you know that, okay, this person can actually be in the sciences. So you start at that age and start praying the will of God for their lives to manifest.
Wow.
And not impose your own will on them.
Yeah. So now, for a child now, for a teenager over there watching this video, seeing this video right now, what do you have to say to them? Those that their parents are not actually there to guide them, to give them those right words, those nice words that will push them to, or that will tell them to where they're supposed to be. So what do you have to say to them?
It's a beautiful thing for them that they have coaches.
Okay.
We didn't have coaches. I didn't even have anybody to talk to. We learned the hard way. We had to become our own coaches. But right now they have coaches, they have mediators, they have counselors, they have people to talk to. All right. So it's important that you find the right person. How will you find the right person? Start with your mom.
Wow.
Start with your mom. I know that so many teenagers, if they're listening to this now, they will know why I'm laughing or smiling, because they'll tell me she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. But you can actually make your mom listen.
Wow.
Okay, I am of the school that we should stop just driving teenagers away from their parents. We should rather be teaching them, okay, if the relationship has not been so fantastic, teach them, say, honey, you can actually mend the relationship. Be the change that you want. Do you understand? Now call your mommy for a meeting. If she wouldn't call you, call her and talk. Why? Because you're listening to coaches now. The things we're telling you, call your mommy when she's very, very happy. Do you understand? And tell her these things. She will listen.
Exactly.
So instead of coaching them to just abandon their parents, see them as their enemies, we should be telling them, your parents cannot give more than what they have. What they're giving you is what they have. They don't know more than that. So now that you have us and you listen to us on radio, on TV and all of that, take the things that we tell you, share with them. When you're helping them in the kitchen, mention the things that we're teaching you. They will start paying attention. Okay? And then again, try to find the right community.
Wow.
If your friends are the friends that are not going to where, you know what you have in mind, you know your desires. If your friends are not going there, change your circle of friends like this. Change them. Go away.
Wow.
You cannot follow somebody to Ariaria when you are supposed to be in Obo Hill. No.
Wow. This has been a very wonderful section. A very, 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 very wonderful section. I really enjoyed your words. Wow, they're so. In fact, I have a whole lot of questions to ask you, but we can't just finish it in one section. I believe we'll still have you once again.
I'll be glad to. Thank you.
Wow. So, thank you so much for staying with us throughout the section. We are so glad to have you so much.
Thank you. It was a beautiful pleasure for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, see you next time. God bless you.